What is up, everybody? It is week 15 out of 52 for trading, man. Oh, man. Crazy. We're already into the 15th week of the year, bro. And I will say we are learning a lot. We've been more consistent, especially these past few weeks. As you can see, I've definitely been following my plan for almost a whole month. You know what I'm saying? We've been doing what we have to do. And today I'm going to share the trades that I took. So this first one was 6E. Of course, we're going to zoom out first and we're just seeing what the trend is. Of course, we have an uptrend here. And we had a 3 candle setup. But news was at 8:30. So I ended up not entering this setup when the break of candle came through. And the setup was still valid. So I ended up getting in. I was a little conflicted. I was like, should I get into this or should I not? The setup was still valid, so I just decided to get in. And next thing you know, that John ended up losing. I got in on this candle, and it did start going up for a bit, but there was no chance for me to re-enter, so it just lost once. And I was just like, yo, it is what it is. You know, we took the L, but honestly, I think with these type of trades where I'm a little conflicted, like it goes with my plan, but I'm just a little conflicted to enter because the news was at 8:30, but the setup was still valid. I'm like, well, I'm not just gonna say like F it and get in. I'm gonna just like, if I'm hesitant, bro, I'm gonna just be like, nah, bro, because I'm not 100% sure if this follows my plan. I couldn't think of a setup where like I entered right after news where it was still valid. Usually it would be like a 9:30 setup that occurs, like it actually like becomes valid at 9:30, and then I could get in like this one. Actually, speaking of the devil, bro, like this literally 9:30, this setup popped up and I ended up taking it, but it was right after right after the market open. So it's kind of the same type of thing as news. That's why you have this big old candle, 286 point stop loss. So we're just going for the 1-to-1 because the risk was higher on this. And let's just zoom out and look at it. This was the second setup we took. Of course, we're on an uptrend. We broke structure during session, made us feel better about it. We had 2 confluences right here. It only touched, excuse me. It only touched the 1 hour confluence. And we just went for the 1-to-1. So let's just see what happens. Bada boom, bada bing. You feel me? Bruh. Hey, man. Good setup right here. That boy won in like an hour. I think it took close to an hour. But either way, man, I was like, you know, we're just gonna stick with the punches, bro. These setups be stressful. Like, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'd be a little stressed in these setups. But at the end of the day, I'm still letting it play out regardless. So today was a net positive day because we are going for higher risk to reward, and we're doing what we got to do. So I think that is going to pay off in the long run because we can actually be open to making mistakes or taking losses without having to recover or take a week for us to recover from it. So look at this, man. Good setup, textbook, 1 hour confluence. Tuesday, April 14th. Monday, nothing happened. We had big gaps in the market. So we will be trading Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And yeah, I even traveled, y'all. I know I talked about how I've been traveling and I'll be off my routine, but I traveled and I got in late. And guess what? I still woke up. I still showed up, did my whole routine before getting to the charts, and I followed my plan. So this is very good. This is very great. I am very grateful to even have had done this because, bro, I'm just like, bro, I need to stay locked in. I need to stay focused. So that's exactly what we did. I will be back on Wednesday for the next recap. What is up, everybody? I did not take this trade, but I just want to share my thoughts because this was a trade that I was like, yeah, it's valid, but it was also high in the zone. So when something is high in the zone, I do not enter it. But the main thing with this one that had me a little conflicted was the break a candle that ended up breaking this zone was still under our entry. So I was like thinking to myself, it might be a good time to enter this trade because the one thing that was stopping me from entering this trade, which was that it was actually in the zone while being high, it's fine for a trade to be high, but if it's also in the zone, I'm not entering that. So the fact that it was broken and it was still valid to enter, like it's not like it took off or anything, I felt like it would have been valid to enter, but I was just a little conflicted and I wasn't sure if I should really do that. So, of course, this trade is high. You see, we've been going up since April 7th, a whole week. We've just been going up. And we broke structure, and this was overall a solid trade. I just also knew that I didn't know, but I was looking at this and I'm like, yo, this is one of them ones. Like it was so perfect. But at the end of the day, I didn't take it. And yesterday I ended up taking 6E, where I was also a little conflicted on like, yo, should I still enter this trade? Because we had our break a candle, but now 8:30 passed and I ended up entering it and it lost. So I think that kind of scarred me a little bit, only because this one lost and there's already something stopping me from entering this trade. So I need to do my due diligence and actually think to myself like, all right, is this something that I could actually enter or no? Because at the end of the day, I need to know this type of stuff because in these situations, I want to be able to make a decision and just be like, yeah, this still goes with my plan. So I think logically though, this still does go with my plan because it broke the zone. So the zone is broken, and now if we can enter at our regular, what's it called? Like if we can enter at our regular entry point or even lower, then let's do it. That's what I was thinking with the 6E trade on Tuesday. It just ended up losing, but it was still a valid trade. So part of me is having a little FOMO. Part of me is glad that I just waited because yesterday I was just jumping the gun and I'm like, all right, maybe I shouldn't take this chance because I just don't know. I just don't know yet. So, yeah, I just wanted to share my thoughts about that. Another random thought that I had this week was, well, not random, but one of my friends who's been pretty successful with trading recently and like he's being consistent. Like, this is amazing. Like, I love it. He did tell me like risk management is a huge thing, right? And I do understand that. And it's just such interesting timing because I just started going for 1 to 1.5s instead of 1 to 1s. And if I was going for 1 to 1s every time, I would have to execute perfectly, bro. Literally perfectly. So now, since I'm going for 1 to 1.5s, it's better. It's smoother sailing already because I am 5-8 on this challenge right now. It's 5 wins and 8 losses, but I'm only down $600. You know what I mean? But if I was going for 1 to 1s, it would be around $3,000 or 2,500, something like that. Only because if I'm gonna win 1,000 and I lose 1,000, so say I win 5,000, I lose 8,000, I'm down 3,000. But if it's 5-8 with the 1 to 1.5, hypothetically, I am up 6.5, right? And then if I lose 8, so I'm down 1.5. But with this, I'm actually only down like $600. So, on futures, you can't control the risk fully unless like you can't just put like the exact amount you want to trade. So, um, yeah, I definitely do think it's been better for sure. But we'll just keep it going and see how it works for a couple months. Like this stuff is a journey, bro, and it took me a while to figure this out. But I'm here. I am, bro. Here I am. Okay, y'all. Today is Friday, and I just wanted to kind of show you how I do my analysis in the morning. So, of course, I always zoom out on every single pair. And since I kind of wake up like 5-10 minutes, or I get to my laptop like 5-10 minutes before the open or before my trading window, which is 7:30, I do a quick scan on like what looks good. So we're doing a quick scan. Like NAS, of course, looks good. It's zooming out. We've been clearly trending. Uh, Same thing with US 30. I zoom out, I see it's clearly trending. Like, I don't need to worry about these in terms of, oh, does it have to break a certain point? Because it's clearly trending. So I look at those and I'm like, all right, we're going to keep an eye on them because it's pretty early in the day. And we need to know that, a setup could possibly occur on those. So that's why I look early on those or on the setups, just take like a quick glance just to see, like, okay, is there a setup that can happen very soon? And usually it's not, but you never know. And then with gold, I look at that, look at it, okay, like we're going up, but we kind of been ranging for a little bit. The EMAs aren't aligning, so we're going to need the EMAs to align. We're going to need it to break some certain structure. So I had this point at first, and then on micro, I have like this point. Well, I had this point for yesterday, but I had this point, okay? Forget about the other one. I have this point, and basically, I'm just saying, all right, when it breaks this, I'm going to take a look at it and see how it actually looks now, because it still looks like it's overall in the uptrend, but we just have been stalling for a little bit. So we need the EMAs to align because every setup I take, the EMAs have to align. And then we need to break some structure. Silver. Zoom out on it. Kind of similar, but the trend is stronger. Here, I'm not too sure. Like, I wasn't too sure if we have to break structure or not, because honestly, it looks pretty good. The only reason I have this point right here, just wake it up, is because the EMAs aren't aligning. They just cross. So now I'm like, all right, well, I'm still watching you, Silver, but I'm just going to wait. EMAs aren't aligning, so we're just going to wait. Platinum. Overall was an uptrend, but I am looking to see like what point will break now in this pair for us to be able to take buys or sells. That's what I'm thinking for everything, by the way. And with this one, if it broke this, it kind of has a lot of room to go down until like right here. And then you have like right here, like you have those big support / resistance points. So I need it to really go down. Like it broke it, but it just wicked it. So it could be a liquidity grab, which is what it looks like right now. And since this isn't like a clear downtrend, like it's not like a US 30 or a NAS where it's just like going up. And this one's not just like going down. Like it's kind of fresh. So I needed to really prove that it wants to go down before I can take it, because we have other pairs that look good. And then we have 6E. I also zoom out on this and I'm like, all right, well, it's clearly going up. And it broke this little range. So here we don't need to have any type of breaker structure during the session or anything. Like I think it looks good. We're clearly trending up. And yeah, I just take it from there, y'all. And I also had oil. This is a pair that I'm not going to trade today just because of this gap. And I usually don't trade pairs that are spiky high or spiky low. That's what I like to call it. Because usually after I take one of these, like, they just tend to lose. So I've tended to just avoid these type of setups now. So we're avoiding oil today, and we are looking at the other pairs. I know I do have a lot of pairs, but when it comes to like setups that we're taking, I'm not really looking at every single pair anyways. Like right now, I'm mainly looking at these two and 6E, just staying organized. And these, we just need to give them some time before they can actually be something that's valid potentially. So that is how I look at my pairs, and I will give you guys a recap on the trade I took if we have our edge, if our edge shows up. All right, y'all. So as you can see, I gave my analysis before the day started, and we ended up taking NAS. NAS gave us a setup right at 10 o'clock, and we got out at 10:35. So It was one of the 3 candle setups. So this rule is basically when something is trending and it's kind of trending pretty strongly, it's not always going to hit the 50. So I gave myself the 3 candle rule where it literally can't touch the 50 at all. But 3 candles, at least 3 have to close below the 13, and then a candle has to close above, and then that's our entry. So went for the 1 to 1.5, and this is exactly what happened. This trade was a little stressful because, as you can see, it was doing well. Didn't hit 1 to 1 right here, but as you can see, it was doing well. And then it just started going down, and then it was reacting well. So I was glad about that. Then we just got a whole bunch of momentum at 10:30, and it was literally like a couple ticks from winning. Like it was at 79875 when it all had to do was go to 79975, and then it started going down. I was like, oh my god. And then it went up again. So that was a little stressful towards the end, bro, because you're like, it's right there. Like it basically won, but that's not the case. It has to hit the TP. And this is an exact 1 to 1.5 from the entry point to stop loss to TP. So this is exactly what we did. It's exactly what we took. We got the dub. I'm gonna give you guys a screenshot of my P&L for the week, or just like the trades that I've been taking and all that stuff. Well, what am I saying? I'm gonna give you guys a little screenshot of just how we did this week. So this is our week, and we're just gonna keep going for next week.